Hi everyone, it's Mrs Marjot here. I'm just going to do the last of our exotic animal videos and I really hope that you've enjoyed the series. I hope that you will carry on watching and learning about nature and wildlife because it teaches us so many interesting things and lots of science about the world and the environment in which we live. So just going over the questions from the last episode. Our rats are called cow, pig and chicken. And then the axolotl superpower is that he can regrow limbs, maybe bits of brain, lungs, spinal cord. If he gets damaged, axolotls are able to grow new parts of their body, which is absolutely amazing. Our final question was how we hold a rat really safely when we're doing a health check, and that technique is called scruffing. What we're going to do now is we're going to meet the last of the exotic pets. We're looking at a species of snake this time called a hognose, a pig.
So these are some photographs of Duncan in his younger days when he was very clearly brighter red than he is now. He was born with a twisted vertebrae in his spine, which means he has a slight disability when he moves, but it doesn't bother him at all. Hognoses are called hognoses, like the pig, a hog, because they have an upturned nose that looks a little bit like a pig nose, and it helps them to dig and to bury themselves in the ground.
So this is Duncan. He is a tricolour hognose. Tricolour means made up of 3 colours, and tricolour hognoses have black, white and red. But Duncan here, as he's grown up, has got a much more black colour on him. So he has still got a little bit of red, but most of it has actually disappeared as he's grown. Duncan is very special. He's got a bit of a poorly back. His bones are a little bit funny shaped. So that's why his back looks a bit funny and why his tail's a bit strange. But it doesn't bother him in any way. He doesn't hurt and he can still wiggle around and go wherever he wants to. And he eats just fine, so he is perfectly happy. At the moment, Duncan is actually in something called blue, which is when the eyes go a funny blue colour and a little bit cloudy, a bit like milk. And that means that Duncan is getting ready to shed his skin. So he's grown a nice new layer of shiny scales underneath and is getting ready to take off all of the old ones. They're called hognoses because their noses are a very strange shape. Let me see if I can show you. They have a nice little scoop on their nose, and that helps them to bury themselves under the dirt. And I'm sure we will have a picture to show you just how good they are at hiding under the ground.
Snakes that live in captivity are fed mice or rats. The mice and rats are bred in special licensed places and are killed as humanely as possible. That means in a kindest way as possible, and are often then bought from pet shops as frozen food. So in my freezer there are frozen mice which we then defrost, which means they have no ice particles left inside their bodies, and then we feed them to the snakes. Snakes eat their food whole. They're not like human beings. They don't chew up their food. They swallow their prey whole. The snake actually widens and flattens out its face. It separates its lower jaw, and that enables it to stretch around its mouth and to consume it whole. It takes time and patience for the snake to slowly move the mouse further into its mouth and further down the throat. They have a special way of breathing through the very bottom of their mouth while they're doing this. Once they've eaten the prey, you can often see, like with Duncan here, some yawning type movements. And that's the way that snakes reset their jaw. They pop all their bits of bone back in the right place and their lower jaw so that their head can shrink back to its normal size and their jaw go back to normal. Once a snake has eaten its food and its face and its jaw have returned to its normal size, the body's muscles slowly contract in waving motions, pushing the food down through the snake's body so that it can digest it like you would digest your food in your stomach and take all the nutrients from it to help it to grow and be healthy. This is Celia. She's a western hognose snake. Again, that hognose, that upturned nose, you can see the hard scale on the front of her face used to dig into the ground. She's a little bit sassy, this one, so we don't tend to handle her without the use of snake hooks because she has bitten before, and we're just that little bit cautious because sometimes you can be allergic to a bite from a hognose snake. Celia's species comes from America. When they are threatened by things that might eat them, they are able to turn upside down and play dead. They can also flatten out the hood, the wide part around their face, and pretend to be a cobra snake, which tends to scare off their predators. I've just popped a little video here of Hector, who is our blue-tongued skink, basically a big lizard. They are called blue-tongued because if you look at his tongue, it's very blue in colour. He's having a little meal here of morio worms. Morio worms are very like mealworms that you might buy in a supermarket to feed your birds in the garden.
And that is all from our exotic collection for you. I hope that you've learned some exciting things about the natural world, and I hope that it enthuses you to go and explore your environment, go on a bug hunt in the garden, have a really good look if you manage to get out to a zoo, and tell me all about animals you might have met. Take care now. Bye.